All right, guys. Hey, my name is Diamond. Thanks so much for stopping by and welcome back to my channel. All right, so today we're going to be discussing a very, very relevant topic that is going to be how to ace your remote interview, pandemic edition. So if you're interested or you know someone who can use this, go ahead and grab your cup of tea or coffee or your beverage of choice, grab your notepad, have a seat, and let's get into it. Cheers. Okay, guys, so just a little bit of history about my, so on this channel, I've had a few day in the life that pertain to my unemployment, and I'm lucky to say I am officially employed, or at the very least, I have signed a job offer. And I just want to go ahead and give you guys some tips, because even pre-COVID, I typically ace my interviews. If I can just get to the interview for a job, I can typically at least get to the second, third round or get a job offer, typically a job offer. So I want to go ahead and jump into that today. That being said, these are very simple tips. There's no gimmicks, no catches, no nothing. If you do these tips, you can definitely go ahead and kill whatever interview you're interested in. Whatever interview is going to work for the role that you're interested in. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Guys, tip number one is to do your research on the company. Yes, super simple, Diamond. Duh. No, not duh. I have been completely surprised by how many of the hiring managers and recruiters that I've spoken with have been, totally shocked or like really impressed that I've just done my legwork and I'm able to speak about the company, business-wise, etc. when I jump into the interview. That is so important. You don't ever want to get tongue-tied talking, interviewing for company A and then end up talking about company B. That is so embarrassing. I couldn't even imagine. In addition to that, it's just really useful, and it will set you on a different path from the rest of the pack of candidates that are interviewing by just being able to get, talk about simple information like, investors information, press information, the company's mission, the company's, long-term, short-term goals. All these things are things that you can just go ahead and find by just typing some stuff into Google or looking up the company's website and going to their About Me section or their company section. Super duper easy. My second tip for how to ace your remote interview is to be ready and able to speak to answer situational questions about how you handle certain work situations. A lot of the interview is not just trying to find out more about your work background. You already gave them your resume. They decided that you were good enough to move to the next level based on your resume. But you actually want to speak specifically to certain situations that you've handled at work and ways that you've done certain processes and procedures well. That is so important. Just from common questions, at least in my situation, how have you dealt with, a difficult customer or a difficult coworker, and how did you go about fixing that situation? What was the outcome? That's what they want to see. And again, be specific, very specific, and you also really want to speak to the outcome as well. And you don't always have to have, a super positive outcome, but if the hiring manager or whoever is interviewing you can see that you can speak well to the processes and procedures that you did in handling XYZ work situation, then they're going to think that you will be a good fit because they want to see problem resolution. So make sure that you remember that in your interviews. The third tip for how to ace your pandemic interview or your remote pandemic interview is to make sure that you are not cocky. Don't be cocky. Don't be cocky. There's just no way to do it. People can see right through that when you're being cocky. I'm not saying don't talk yourself up. That is super important. But when you're talking yourself up, you do want to ensure that you are using concrete examples from your work life and personal life so that the interviewer can get more information about you or come to understand you better and the work that you do and your work style better. So it's one thing to say, I have excellent interpersonal skills, I am excellent at organization, or I have a high attention to detail. How can you prove that? So you make sure that you have those concrete examples, like specific concrete examples of how you did XYZ that pertain to whatever behavior or attribute that you have. Okay, don't forget that. Don't be cocky. The fourth tip for how to ace your remote interview is to don't forget to smile. That is so important. I probably sounded really cheesy there, but honestly, guys, I'm always smiling. I'm always laughing, and people can feel my passion and my energy through my smile. And you can remember that tip for whether you're on a Zoom interview, whether you're on a phone call, or if you're in an in-person interview. Don't forget to smile. Sometimes we go into interviews and sometimes we're just nervous and we don't realize how important that is. Just being able to be a positive light and positive energy. People want to be able to see you on their team and see you as someone who could make an impact and have a positive impact on their team. One of the ways you can do that is just through your demeanor, by smiling, by having a relaxed demeanor. That is going to show them that you're laid back, that you're confident, and you would be a good asset to join a team. You have the right personality to join a team. All right, guys. And the fifth and final tip is to make sure that you just kidding. Okay, guys, the fifth and final tip for how to ace your remote interviews would be to ask thoughtful questions. And I'm not, of course you want to ask your typical questions about company culture or, ask someone about their trajectory. But you also really want to use the research that you did in tip number 1 to ask those thoughtful questions. For example, if a company is succeeding in they're obviously adding roles, or you've seen in their press that they've got new seed funding. Ask them what aspects contributed to the continued success of XYZ company, especially amidst the pandemic. That's an excellent question, thoughtful question. You really want to do that because that definitely sets you out from the pack, and it shows the hiring manager that you are really invested in the company that you're interviewing for. They can easily tell a difference between people who have just applied for the sake of applying for a job versus the person who is passionate about the company's mission, about the company's goals, about where the company's headed. Hiring managers can tell that. You know that you've done a great job or an excellent job in the interview when the hiring manager or whoever's interviewing you is like, wow, that's an excellent question. I'm going to jot that down and use that for later, or save that for later. You really just have to make sure that it's not about using big words. It's just about asking really thought-provoking questions that really kind of, pause the interviewer for a second and really inquires them to think about what drives their company's success, or what advice would I give to someone who's coming in this role? Or what challenges does this person face coming into this role? Those types of thought-provoking questions, and make sure you're asking open-ended questions, are going to help you seal the deal and get job offers just like I did. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how your job search is going, or what your interview tip is down below. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.